Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Wednesday video of us, the British Fist. Yeah, we are here on Wednesday doing this video. We're not very organised, are we? We're kind of like WWE writing their shows at the last minute. We're doing our video at the last minute, aren't we, NJ?
Very out there, you know. We just don't know what we're doing, but we'll see how it turns out.
We're the British Fist.
Gotcha!
Fresh from our 1 year anniversary, first topical video afterwards. Make sure you guys subscribe up above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on what you see in that title, because the title will be up there and it'll show you what we're going to talk about before we're even announcing it. Down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the links in the description box below.
Yeah, and if you guys remember from our year anniversary, I'm Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me is JN, NJ, J to the N, N to the J. It doesn't really matter, does it? Just do your what's up.
What's up?
Indeed, right then. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about a couple of different topics. We've been putting off this Daniel Bryan topic for a while now because we're not really sure what's going on with him. So in this video, we're just going to get our feelings on Daniel Bryan and his and the way his character is transitioning at the moment. And then later on in the video, we're going to discuss Ziggler being in the main event and his main event credentials. Is he there yet or not? Those kind of things. Just because we want to get you guys talking, we thought these two would be some good topics for you guys to, get your opinions on, as we know Bryan and Ziggler are very well received in the YWC at the moment.
With Daniel Bryan especially, because obviously he's been moved from where he was at the beginning of his WWE career into the main events now, and Ziggler, well, as we can see that he's progressing now. Now he has. Yeah, I think we'll start with Daniel Bryan first. I think we should get this out of the way pretty much straight away. But before we go on to his new character, let's just talk a little bit about, because I think we've already got our opinions on this, but let's just reiterate this. Daniel Bryan's build to the main event wasn't very good at all, was it? His progression to that main event scene really didn't give him too much to go on. Not as a wrestler, but as something that WWE presented to us. It didn't really give us much to go, a platform to go off. Do you know what I mean? Well, before he won Money in the Bank, with me, his character, he was a US champion. He was definitely someone to watch in matches. So someone that is obviously going to progress eventually. So I thought it was an okay start.
He did have a very good start. He was booked as the US champion as soon as they put him with Divas, though. Throughout 2011, this guy was really not booked very well. He wasn't booked like a guy you'd think would be World Heavyweight Champion. And then, heaven forbid, on TLC, he cashed in his Money in the Bank to win the World Heavyweight Championship. And the big question for me is, with the lack of logical progression there, why the hell did you give him Money in the Bank? I mean, even guys like Barrett and Sheamus at the time weren't really on a logical progression, were they?
Well, with Daniel Bryan winning it at the time, it was a surprise. But the thing at the same time, they needed base people in the main event, and I'm thinking giving it to Bryan and all the other wrestlers that were there was the right choice. Obviously, it was a surprise, and it was going to give Daniel his final lift to the main event.
Oh yeah, I've got a switch to the main event, NJ. No, but the thing is though, right, at the time, you were going to push Daniel Bryan as his second big babyface, but then Sheamus come along, and he was getting big pops, and he was being built up as his second babyface. So your need for a second babyface was kind of eliminated by the fact that they pushed Sheamus in. And all of a sudden, Daniel Bryan is kind of looking like a bit of an afterthought, isn't it? Because you've got Randy Orton as your main babyface, Sheamus is your sort of second upcoming babyface, and Daniel Bryan's your Money in the Bank winner, and he's the third babyface on SmackDown. Do you know what I mean? This is one of the reasons I didn't feel it was a good move at the time, especially at the Money in the Bank. Sheamus was getting pops from the crowd, as face pops from that crowd.
Well, when it comes to this, again, there were top wrestlers in that match that have been built up to likely winners. Like we all thought, Wade could have a chance of winning. Well, probably said we thought Wade was going to win it, but give it to Bryan. At that time, I think the WWE thought it was going to be something good for his career, some good move. But obviously, after that, he didn't really flow with his career, and he went downhill.
He did go very down. I think, a lot of the internet fans are very happy when he won Money in the Bank. I was genuinely surprised and thought to myself, well, if they can book this guy well, because they hadn't done before, maybe we could have some kind of guy who can really provide contrast in that main event scene in the way that Angle and Bret Hart did, by the fact that he's a wrestler and he can tell a different story in the ring compared to the bigger, more muscular guys like sort of Big Show, Mark Henry, even guys like Randy Orton, for example. It's just that ever since he won Money in the Bank and ever since he won the World Heavyweight Championship, I've really failed to see what WWE have done to really make him an integral part of the program. With guys like Miz, you had him cutting promos on, in Survivor Series and SummerSlam, promos that made him an integral part of the TV show, and they did whatever they could to make him an integral part of the TV show. But what has WWE done to make Daniel Bryan an integral part of a TV show?
Well, sadly, when it comes to Daniel Bryan, this is another reason why I'm not a great fan of him. When it comes to booking up his character, they gave him a good US title run, which is thumbs up to that. Obviously, it's built up his character that way. But when he comes to where he is now, I don't think that people got behind him well enough.
No, little reaction from the crowd.
Yeah, and I think if they did more with him while he was the US champ, gave more mic time back then, gave him bigger opponents as he built as the US champ.
Maybe not in the dark match of WrestleMania.
That would have been another point. So all these little points that they could have done when he was US champ or even just after could have helped him.
Yeah, but let's face it right now, he is the World Heavyweight Champion. I think even though we can obviously go on for hours about his lack of build and progression and character progression and stuff, what we've got right now, we've got Daniel Bryan as a World Heavyweight Champion as a face. He was kind of like this vanilla baby face. Wasn't getting too much reaction on TV shows. He was getting good reaction in, wrestling cities like, Madison Square Gardens and stuff. But he wasn't getting a genuine reaction from many sort of more crowds which were more casual. And this is a bit of a problem. But they made him this vanilla baby face. And now it kind of seems like they're trying to turn him heel. And first thing we should ask is, do you really think they should have turned Daniel Bryan heel? Or do you think they should have made him this aggressive Benoit-type babyface? Because that's what I think they should have done.
Well, the way I see it, let's go with the heel route first. When you adapt people to be heels, it gives them the most chance of holding on to the title longer because they can cheat to win, they have all these tactics to win. So I think turning him heel with a character like Daniel Bryan, maybe it would have been a good idea because now he can do anything he wants to retain it. If we go down the aggression route, I think it would have adapted his character a lot more smoothly as he goes up into this World Heavyweight Champion. Yeah,
and at the moment, I mean, to be honest with you, WWE have done what they did with Christian, and that is they're putting a guy who really doesn't really belong in that main event scene. I know a lot of people say Christian does belong in that main event scene, but he's not a fully fledged main event guy. So what do? Eventually, they made him a typical we can't get behind you chicken shit heel. And it seems like they're doing the same thing with Daniel Bryan, to be honest to me. And this is why I think an aggressive face character would have been a lot better for him, because now he's just this chicken shit heel, which no one can really take seriously. And, and it's not really doing too much for his character. And this is why I'm not a big fan of this character change for Daniel Bryan. It's given him some more character. He's not as vanilla as he was, but it's not really doing anything for him long-term, in my opinion.
Well, what I'm going to say, long-term for me, is when he first came to the champ, I thought, this is not going to last long. But if they do turn him heel, I can see him cheating his way to retain it longer. So I think as a heel, he's going to be a longer champ than what we thought.
True, but I really wanted to see Daniel Bryan as this, a really aggressive wrestler who's going to make anyone tap out and he'll keep the hold going because he's so damn aggressive. That kind of thing. Even if he was a heel, that just kept giving the bell lock and never gave up and just did it kind of like that, injuring his opponents because he can make anyone tap out. Just some stronger booking. And I would have been more behind this guy, but I can't get behind this guy the way WWE presented him. He hasn't had really had a segment on his own, really, where he's been the main focus. They haven't really given him much promo time. Lately they have, but really into the first month of his World Heavyweight Championship reign, they really didn't make him an integral part of SmackDown, did they?
Well, the way they're treating Daniel Bryan, it reminds me kind of like The Miz. At first, Miz was, not booked that great, and gradually, as the month, yes, it took time. You have to give him time, but he did get booked better. Maybe the same thing happened to Daniel Bryan, but at this moment in time, I really don't think he's becoming what people say as a good champion.
Yeah, the thing is, you look at the difference between Miz and Bryan. Miz was made an integral part of the program by WWE with his promos. They always did something for him on Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, etc. Even if he wasn't in a match. I mean, in that whole SummerSlam thing, there was a whole storyline between him that he's going to be, is he going to be in Team WWE? And he cut that promo at SummerSlam, and we reviewed it in our SummerSlam review series. And you look at what they've done with Daniel Bryan, they're nowhere near what they've done with The Miz. That's why Miz, although he was booked as a cowardly heel at first, at least he got booked better as he went on. I just don't see that happening with Daniel Bryan. I just see him losing the belt at Elimination Chamber.
At the minute, he's going up against Mark Henry and Big Show, the two big guys who I think could help to put Daniel Bryan over, especially if they have this triple threat match at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and I don't think they've announced it yet. We don't really want to show spoilers, but I don't think they've announced the match, as far as I know. No. But that is a match we definitely need to see, and we need to see Daniel Bryan making someone tap out clean to really buy into this guy. Two big guys like Mark Henry and Big Show.
But he was close to making Big Show tap out, so it's showing you that maybe there is a chance for Daniel Bryan to have some power over some big wrestlers. So maybe, like I'm saying, I'm not seeing it at the moment, but maybe there's still hope for Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, but let us know your thoughts, because we've got our opinions out there, and we're doing this in video form, but the main reason we do these videos is not just so we can get our opinions out there, it's because we want to hear your opinions, we want to hear your thoughts, what you think of Daniel Bryan and his new character turn, and how they built him up to this main event scene.
And there is one question I've got. Are you guys on Michael Cole's side that Daniel Bryan, loser! Or are you on the other side where you think that, yes, Daniel Bryan could become a good World Heavyweight Champion?
Don't tell me you're going to spring some surprise sunglasses on me again like you did in the Raw review.
I would have, but no.
Okay, is that all you wanted to say about Daniel Bryan?
That's it for Daniel Bryan.
Okay, well, we'll move on to Dolph Ziggler. And I think we've touched on Daniel Bryan enough now for about 10 minutes. Dolph Ziggler, now, as we've seen, Dolph Ziggler has, over this year, has kind of now developed into a guy that WWE can just put in that main event scene. Now, what do you think of Dolph Ziggler's main event career? I think this guy is a fantastic wrestler, but do I feel he's ready for that title win yet? I still feel WWE needs to do a little bit more with this guy. He's got the wrestling skill. He's got some of the mic skills, but I think he still needs some work on other things, which is why I feel a feud with Foley would really go far for Dolph Ziggler.
Well, when I look at Dolph, my opinion for him is, we talk about US champ. When he was US champ, I didn't think he was booked that well. He had losing streak, didn't defend it as much as maybe could have, and I just couldn't really believe him as a US champion. So for him to drop the US champion and now come into the top picture, it's made me find it hard to get behind him. But now he's getting all this mic time, he's getting involved with the right wrestlers. Maybe his character will adapt into the main event, even if it weren't a good start.
And I feel that's what WWE need to do with guys like, Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, even guys like Cody Rhodes. Just evolve their character to a point where they can be involved in this main event scene. Because I saw that promo between Dolph and Foley on Raw, and I thought to myself, that was a really great way to start the show. And I was loving the interaction between him and Foley. And we both thought this when we saw this. Look at what Foley's done for Rock in '99, Triple H in 2000, your favourite wrestler, made him a star, and yet he still buries the fuck out of him because he says he's not over enough with the crowd. And then in 2004, you've got Randy Orton, and then later on you got Edge. And you look at yourself and think, Foley, even though Foley isn't exactly the best in-ring work at the moment, he's not got it at the moment. But even a feud against Foley in a hardcore match at WrestleMania or Extreme Rules would really go a long way for Ziggler. And I feel that would really push him over that post to really legitimise him as a guy that you could consider maybe a Money in the Bank winner or a future Royal Rumble winner. Just not right now. I still think that's the extra push that WWE needs to do with Dolph Ziggler, because he's very close to being there.
Well, with Dolph Ziggler and many other wrestlers, they need an icon or a legend that is done it all, everyone's behind, and then actually have a match against them.
Yeah.
Obviously, the crowd's going to want to cheer on their icon,
Definitely.
but for Ziggler to get the win, it'll give him the push, and it'll be like, wow, Ziggler's actually beat someone as big as that.
So I do feel Dolph Ziggler's quite close to being in the main event scene, but he just needs, I think he needs that, like what Cody Rhodes has had this year, he needs that good year where he's done a couple of memorable things and had some memorable matches and done some stuff which we can say, this guy is an integral part of the program. Because at the moment, I see him as the kind of guy that is in that mid-card, but they'll put him in that main event scene occasionally like they did with Edge at Royal Rumble. And he's already won the World Heavyweight Championship for like 30 minutes, but that doesn't really count, does it? But, I do see him in 2012 maybe becoming, if WWE get behind this guy a lot better, and if he stops fucking politicking backstage, Dolph Ziggler, that's why I'm talking to you, boy, stop politicking backstage and banging down our boys Ryder and Mason Ryan, and favouring your friend Zack Ryder. He could be a kind of guy that can move into that main event scene in 2012, early 2013, maybe give him a Rumble win.
Well, with the rise of Ziggler, the way he performs in the ring now, he's gone against Randy Orton, so he's had good wins against main eventers. And I'm thinking all this is gradually going to build up to something. All I want to see is him continue being this character building, involvement wrestler that is, because I can quite easily see him progressing to the main event within the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, within the end of 2012, I see what you mean. I was still thinking we're in 2011, for God's sake. But yeah, I do think he's had wins against Orton. He's had a win against Cena, if you count the count-out victory. It's all legit if it's against Orton or Cena. He's beat CM Punk twice in a row. He's got a main event style match at the Rumble with Laurinaitis as the referee, which is a little bit more about Laurinaitis than Punk rather than Ziggler, which is a little bit of a shame. I think a very important question at the moment, though, that we have to address is, does he need to get rid of Vicky Guerrero? Because I'm in the mold that if he really wants to be this main event guy, he needs to draw his own heat. And I know Vicky Guerrero, has helped him along the way, but I think if he wants to be in that proper main event guy, he does need to get rid of Vicky Guerrero, in my opinion.
Well, the way I see Vicky Guerrero, she's been with him for a long time now, but that was when he was the US champ.
Yeah.
But now we've had him maybe becoming the WWE champion eventually, maybe having Vicky Guerrero for some time while he's that champ to help him retain it for a little while longer may help him. But at the same time, I think he's got the heel thing built up because of her, but to help him become champ and retain it, maybe Vicky could stick around for a little longer.
Maybe, but I think in the long run, they definitely need to get rid of Vicky Guerrero so he can, go further than what Vicky Guerrero. I think Vicky Guerrero's Maybe keeping him down a tad. He's getting him heat, but maybe if he needs to go, if he wants to go beyond that, he really needs to get rid of it. They really need to, separate Vicky and Dolph, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, of course. Do you have any more you want to say about Dolph Ziggler's main event status? I do feel he is that kind of guy that could go into the main event status sometime next year if they give him a massive rub, or if they book him correctly, or give him a Money in the Bank and build him up to it.
But I see Dolph, there's many big pay-per-views coming up, and I'm thinking if he continues being near the main event, it could adapt his character, give him the main event feeling, put him against other wrestlers, and I think he could really become someone to watch out for.
I mean, even if he loses to Punk, if he has a good run in the Rumble, we know he can work a match. So if he gets a good run in the Rumble, a good run in the Elimination Chamber, possibly, and then maybe has a feud with Foley at WrestleMania, maybe culminating in a hardcore match at Extreme Rules. Who knows what that stretch? If WWE do it that way, who knows what kind of rub that could give him? Similar to a guy like Cody Rhodes, but. I mean, who knows how much of a rub if WWE do it like that? If they strongly book him, in a program with someone like a Foley, how much it could do for this guy.
Well, the thing is, when it comes to WWE, they need to start building up new stars, new wrestlers into the main event, and Dolph is definitely going to be one of them that I think could be a good place in the main event.
Yeah, so what do you guys think about Dolph Ziggler? Like I said, our opinions, but we want to know your thoughts on these things. What do you think about Dolph Ziggler and his main event credentials? Do you feel a feud with Foley will take Ziggler a long way? How would you book Dolph Ziggler, if you want to make him a main eventer, do you think he will win Rumble at Money in the Bank maybe next year? Let us know your thoughts down in that comment section below, and also let us know what you think about Daniel Bryan's build to the main event and also his sort of new character, I guess you'd say, which we're not really sure whether he's face or heel, are we? But there we go. Just going on what happened on Raw, where he was in a face team and he was getting canned heat boos on SmackDown. He's kind of getting cheered a little bit on Raw. It's kind of like, is he a face or a heel?
So the best thing for both of them is their character build over this next year. They need to keep continuing their character build to get them to where they should be in the WWE.
Definitely so. So like I said, get your thoughts down in the comment section below. I have been Mr. Parkin, giving my opinions on this whole thing, and this has been NJ, who's also been giving his very, very strict opinions on these matters. Do your what's up, NJ, and just end this video.
What's up? And people, all I can say now is this has been another topical video from the British Fist, Mr. Parkin, and me, NJ. Till next time, people, keep your comments coming, and goodbye.